When is the last time you experienced a presentation that creates a seismic shift in your life and your business? When is the last time you walked out of a room and said, "That was the greatest seminar I've ever experienced"? If it has been a while, I have some good news. You can create that experience today. It's not every day that one is introduced to the genuine world's leading expert at anything, especially something as important as resilience and performance. Accordingly, it is with great honor that I introduce you to Dr. Paul Stoltz. There is so much to say. Let me begin with a few highlights. Dr. Stoltz is one of the great thought leaders of our time. As many of you know, he has worked with top leaders across different industries and departments, and the impact has been tremendous. Without fail, organizations see measurable, in some cases unprecedented, gains in sales, performance, engagement, customer service, and the list goes on and on. Also, his client feedback has consistently been the highest they have ever given for any presenter, ever. An astonishing thing when you think of how many presenters top-level executives endure. If Dr. Stoltz's face or name seems familiar, there's a reason. Voted one of the top 100 thinkers by Executive Excellence magazine, he's frequently featured in the world's top media, including CNN, CNBC, The Today Show on NBC, and even multiple appearances on The Oprah Winfrey Show. He is a sought-after resource for many publications, including The Wall Street Journal, The Washington Post, Business Week, Outside Magazine, Entrepreneur, Psychology Today, Forbes, and many, many more. Adversity quotient, or AQ, is the science of human resilience. People who successfully apply AQ perform optimally in the face of adversity. In fact, they not only learn from these challenges, but they also respond to them better and faster. For businesses and other organizations, a high AQ workforce translates to increased capacity, productivity, and innovation, as well as lower attrition and higher morale. As the creator of AQ, Dr. Paul Stoltz describes best what it is and what it can do.
Today, what we're going to do is we're going to use the best stuff that we know from the most widely adopted methodology in the world for measuring and strengthening human resilience, from something that is now required foundational curriculum at the High Performance Leadership Program and the MBA program at Harvard University. And we're going to leverage that to equip you to not just have the kind of enterprise, but to have the kind of life that harnesses adversity and generates energy. And what better place to do that than here?
He is an international best-selling author of 3 books, including Adversity Quotient at Work, and The Adversity Advantage, with foreword by Dr. Stephen Covey. These books have helped many worldwide and have been published in 14 different languages. He is the originator of AQ, the most widely adopted method in the world for measuring and strengthening human resilience. His AQ method has been adopted by Harvard Business School for its High Potential Leaders program and by the Harvard MBA program as a global best practice. Dr. Stoltz regularly speaks to some of the most prestigious gatherings of world leaders at the world's top universities, including Harvard, Stanford, INSEAD in France, and others. Not only are his works well known and implemented to great success, but more than any other thought leader we have found, Dr. Stoltz truly lives his message, as you will see for yourself. Lastly, and perhaps most tellingly, in a nationwide search for America's most creative family, USA Today awarded his family first prize. And now, let me present you to Dr. Paul Stoltz, or, as we fondly refer to him, our friend, Dr. Paul. As you can see, Dr. Paul Stoltz is no motivational speaker, focusing on lifelong transformation instead of immediate feel-good results. His seminars use real-world examples that we can all relate to in order to teach timeless truths.
But instead, we want to take it all the way in. I want the full force of it, so the Aikido is to take it all the way in so I can give it back in a more useful way. You remember Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Too hot? Too cold? Just right. Too big? Too small? Just right. So, how many of you have teenagers in your life? Okay? Anybody has a teenager in any form in their lives? And I mean in any form. Imagine this. Teenage daughter busts in the door at the end of the day, throws her books across the room, and says, my life's over. Oh, yes. And you say, what's the matter, sweetheart? Everything. Timmy broke up with me. He said he's never going to love me ever again, and he's the only boy I'll ever love, and he broke my heart in front of everybody. My life's ruined. I got that Saturday. Did you really? Before I was leaving. Perfect. So now, what do you want to do besides kill Timmy? You want it all go away. Beautiful. You want to comfort her, make her feel better, make it all go away. Perfectly said. So you go, it's okay, sweetheart. I know you're having a hard day. You know, these things happen. I remember when it happened to me. But you're such a one. You know, God. Are you giving her fish or teaching her to fish? So you instead employ the lead sequence. You say, well, gosh, sweetheart, given the Timmy! Okay, now you have to take it all the way in. Now, you might as well have some fun. Is there a reason it can't be fun? So, too big sounds like this. Well, clearly, you're going to die. Too small would be something like this. Oh, so you and Timmy had a little tiff. No, you never understand, slam. Just right, here's the twist, is at whose magnitude, yours or theirs? So instead of saying, sounds like you had a difficult moment, sweetheart, I would say, wow, it sounds like Timmy just ripped your heart out. Yes. A parent who gets it. How cool is that? Right? Now we're thinking, why would you even go there? Because you're going to give it back with the evidence question. What evidence is there that it... Who did that? You are good. You are good. Give him a hand. Here's the evidence question. We're used to saying, why do you think it has to be that way? Why do you think it's going to turn out that way? Why do you, whatever. Instead, the evidence question sounds like this. Well, what evidence is there that it has to turn out that way? What are the key words in that question? First, evidence, and then has to. Say those two words again. Has to. Not might, not could, but so, let's say she gives it back to you and goes, he said it was. He said he never wants to see me again. There's your evidence. Okay? Best way to take it all the way in? Just agree. You're right. Sounds like it's dead. But let me ask you, even though he said that, what evidence is there it absolutely has to be over? Well, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but I don't know. Well, what could you, not to fix it, not to solve it, but listen to my language on this question. I love this little piece right here. You could use this. Whenever you ask anyone around action, if you word it this way, you will see such a difference. I'll ask, what could you do to at least increase the chances that this works out okay? What's the key phrase? At least increase the chances. Please say that. At least increase the chances. Beautiful.
Dr. Stoltz emphasizes real science over the pop science of the day.
I said if a 10 is the what? Worst thing that ever happened in your life. Okay, now notice the way I emphasized it. Okay? I can be totally compassionate, but it's only one question. And I can say, well, let me ask you, if a 10's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life, see the emphasis? Really? What's this? When I say really, what's that automatically guiding them to do with their number? Yeah. The chances of them coming back and going, a 10. Then you can just call them on it and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here when the worst thing in your life ever happened. And this is it right now. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Well, we got to rush you to the hospital. So usually they'll go, boom. And then my follow-up question was, well, geez, if you've dealt with is there any reason you can't handle a 5? See? And what do you think the answer to that is? Let me tell you what we're doing. You're performing a little brain surgery here. And let me tell you specifically what you're doing in the brain, and I'm going to give you a term as a takeaway. The reptilian brain, which is the most ancient part of the human brain, is called the amygdala. When it's intense, it's all or nothing, baby. Rage, passion, lust, hunger. Certain things are just like that's where they're from. You never come up to someone saying, can I talk to you, Mike? I'm feeling a little mildly rageful right now. So it's an incredibly, think how much energy goes into just trying to mitigate or manage that part of our brain. Think of how many mistakes come from there. Think of how many people are in jail because of that part of our brain. Okay? Now, this part of the brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex, is the most recent and highly evolved and sophisticated part of the brain. This is what separates man from beast, supposedly, right here. This is where all thinking and logic and reason happen. So when someone goes, "Ah, it's the worst thing that ever happened. I can't believe my whole life's falling apart and it's just going to get worse." What part of the brain is that? When you ask a question that says, well, if a 10's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life, on a scale of 1 to 10, really what's this? Where did I make it go in their brain? Here. I'm making them think and reason. That process of forcing them to go from here to here, doing that favor for them, is called the override. Say that word, please. Override. So what we find is that one of the key elements in winning this battle with adversity and turning it into fuel is that. If we can take the reptilian response and create the override to here, this is where all problem solving and traction occurs.
He offers real solutions to issues facing everyone at work and in life.
We get into this mindset, and here's the word, of coping with adversity. Some people survive it, right? These are the people you go, how's it going? And they go, well, every day above ground's a good one. Don't they inspire you? That's no way to live, is it? Well, coping implies that you're keeping your head above water, right? Here's the problem. Look at those first layers of my continuum. If you spend 29 adversities a day doing some combination of those first 4, how much you got left at the end of the day? Is adversity consuming you, or are you consuming it? It's consuming you. It's only at that top level, which we call what? Harnessing, that the energy really gets unleashed, the innovation, the possibilities, the traction, the momentum, see?
All of this information, critical to a company's success and the success of its people, is also delivered through engaging stories and real human examples of high AQ behavior.
Climbers recognize this is a lifelong ascent. So they're very vigilant about, almost obsessive about, the rejuvenation. And they constantly are rejuvenating, and they do it in the cracks. They use the cracks of their day in the most interesting ways. Still to this day, one of my favorite examples that I ran across was so perfect because it was such a revelation for me. I was passing through O'Hare Airport on a Friday afternoon. You can just imagine, can't you? The stress is palpable. And of course, if you've ever flown United Airlines, code share with Air Canada, you go down the B gates, this 5-story escalator, you go across the tunnel of doom, where they play the United theme song over and over and with this neon thing, so if you weren't homicidal before, and then you go up this 5-story escalator on the other side, right? Well, I'm like everybody else. I got my bags, I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm in between flights. I come up to the escalator and all these business drones are just lined up waiting for the escalator. Of course, what does everyone do on the escalator? Stand. And then they get to the bottom of the escalator and they what? Take the moving sidewalk. They take the walkway and they stand, because God forbid they expend any energy, right? Well, as I'm standing there waiting, this guy who's like in his mid-50s comes whizzing past me, and he's carrying 2 pretty substantial bags. Now, when's the last time you saw that? And he forgets the escalator and takes the... I didn't know there were stairs. They're narrow. And he starts booking down these stairs. I mean, flight after flight after flight. I'm going, I got to follow him. So I'm chasing after this guy. We get to the bottom. Everybody's taking the walkway. What does he do? Goes on the outside. Buzzing past everybody. I'm like embarrassed that my bags have wheels. I'm chasing after this guy. We get to the other side. What does he take? Oh, no. Here's what he does. He gets up to the stairs and he kind of has this moment where he kind of sets them down, picks them up, and he starts double stepping, baby. He's like, and he's just cranking up these stairs, and I'm chasing after this guy, right? At the top of the stairs, I'm thinking, I got to talk to this guy, right? So I get to the top of the stairs, and I come up to this guy. I said, excuse me, can I talk to you? He goes, sure, kid, what's up? And I said, everybody's taking the escalator and taking the walkway, and then, you took the stairs and you double step all the way. Can I ask you why? And he said 2 of the most profound words I've ever heard. You know what he said? Actually 3.
Because I can.
He said, great quad burn. And I thought, that is so true. I said, mine are burning. And he goes, exactly. And then he goes like this. He goes, come here, kid. And he kind of puts his arm around me like this. He goes, well, look down there. What do you see? I said, a bunch of really stressed out travelers. He goes, no, forget about them. They come and go. He goes, what do you see? I said, a really big airport. He goes, exactly. Welcome to my workout gym. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, between flights, what do you think I'm doing? I said, going there and back. He goes, pick those up. I go, what? He goes, pick those up. So I pick up these bags. I'm like, whoa. He goes, not bad, huh? He goes, I get the best workouts when I'm on the road. And I'm thinking, duh. Most of us go home from a day of travel so utterly exhausted because we expended no energy. Right? It's like being in a, all-day seminar. This guy's pumped, right? Because he's doing what climbers do, and here's the word, he's optimizing. He's taking the same piece of time and doing something with it to make him something more.
AQ is the world's leading method for measuring and evaluating human resilience. And Dr. Paul Stoltz is the foremost expert in resilience training. His tools and presentations have helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide to respond more effectively to life's challenges, and he is a highly sought-after resource for any organization wishing to fully capitalize on the potential of its people and inspire them to greatness. Dr. Paul says it best.
What if you as an enterprise could literally not cope with, forgive me, not deal with, but harness the full force of all the stuff, and you know the stuff that you're dealing with. What if you could take all that stuff and not cope with it, not deal with it, not respond to it, not all the stuff we've been taught and talk about, but literally harness the full force of it, to use it, to convert it into the highest octane fuel of your life, to be the kind of person who creates your own sort of brand of competitive immunity, if you will.